Hello, this is Ruth Ann McKinnon. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my latest edition of my Blue Bin series, which is where I shop my own collection and I pick out fragrances that I haven't worn in a while or that I don't tend to wear. I don't tend to think about, I don't tend to pull for them and wear them, and then I purposely put them in this bin and then I wear them extensively for a week or two, and then I report to you about what I think of them. So I'm going to show you the bin. This is a completely non-fancy, non-expensive bin that I bought at the dollar store. And I have several of these. I have pink ones and green ones, and I use them for organizing in my bathroom. I keep my hairsprays and hair conditioners and things in there. But this one I had left over, so I'm using it for this. And again, I was inspired for this series by another channel that's not a perfume channel, but it's a channel that reviews a lot of makeup and a lot of other beauty products. And she does this thing where she has a red basket or a red bin, and then she pulls from her makeup and reviews it. Now, I'm not a big makeup girl. I just happen to like her channel, but it did inspire me to do something similar with my perfumes. So I'm just going to get started. So this is Ajmal Regina. You can see that there, Regina, Ajmal. This is a beautiful fruity floral, and the reason why I just don't think about wearing it very much is twofold. One, because it's kind of a boring fruity floral. It's one of those kind of mass appealing fruity florals, and haven't we all experienced many of them? But as I've been wearing this more intensely the last couple weeks, there is something slightly masculine in here, and I think it's not in the opening. In the opening, you get this beautiful fruity floral fragrance, and I have nothing against it at all. It's very pretty. I think it would be a great daily wear, summer wear. It can be great for a room and bedding freshener. But when you get about an hour or two into the dry down, I think that's bergamot, I suspect. Now, I haven't looked it up. When I do these reviews, I don't look at the official notes because I want to give you guys exactly what I get out of the fragrance, not what Fragrantica gets or not what the manufacturer says you should get, but rather what I get as I wear it. There's something masculine in here in the dry down, and I think it's bergamot, and it has kind of that barbershop-y lilac combination with citrus that I think is bergamot. And I don't dislike this fragrance, and that male characteristic of it doesn't completely turn me off. It's just a little strange. It's a little strange. So I like it. I'm not going to get rid of it. You can tell I haven't put a big dent in it because I'm not a huge fan, but I will use it up. And you might see it again in the future in other blue bins because I just don't see myself ever pulling for this, wearing it, other than if I'm made to because I have it in a blue bin. So anyway, that's Regina by Azmol. Next, I have Banana Republic's Wildbloom Vert. Now, this is beautiful. And when I first started this, and I'm not even sure I pulled it out to put in the blue bin. What I did was I pulled it out a few weeks ago to put in my bathroom, and I've been using it as an after shower scent because it's so fresh. So this is a beautiful floral, spring, summery, summertime, sunshine, absolutely gorgeous combination of florals. None of which, not one single floral can I pick out individually. It's just a beautiful combination of spring florals, maybe with a little focus on Lily of the Valley. And then there's some mild green notes in here, but it's called Wildbloom Vert. Vert is French for green. I would not call this a green fragrance. It's like green is in the background. Number one, it's spring florals. Number two, it's fresh notes. Number three, I would say, is green notes, and that's very much in the background. I would not characterize this as a green fragrance because I love green fragrances. This is not one, but green, I think, helps to give it some character and some body and a little uniqueness. It's perfect for summer, perfect for spring, absolutely beautiful. I bought this on eBay, not very expensive, and I will say this is also a compliment getter. Specifically, I've had someone ask me, "Oh my gosh, you smell good. What are you wearing?" And then someone else came up to me just today, because I wore this today, and said, "What perfume are you wearing? It really smells great." So, and at that time, I didn't even realize it could be smelled anymore because I had only sprayed it on several hours earlier, and I wasn't aware that I still smelled because I couldn't smell it anymore, but this woman could. So it must project and last longer than I realize. So today, when that woman asked me what I was wearing, it had been at least 6 hours since I'd applied it, and I never came closer than 4 or 5 feet from her. So she could smell it, it projected, it was still strong enough. So this is a good, long-lasting, inexpensive scent. Again, Banana Republic, Wildbloom Vert. All right, next up I have Vert by Perfume Balme. If you can see that there, Balmain. This is kind of an old school French Parisian perfume house. It was very big back in the day, 50s, 60s, and 70s. And I think perhaps that this fragrance has been discontinued, but I'm not sure. I know when I asked for this for my husband, it's been a couple of years, it was a gift. And this cap on it, from what I remember, was from a previous edition, probably a little older, maybe from the early 2000s or the late 90s. And it's been produced since in a different bottle. So this is a little bit of an older formulation, but it's not like from the 50s or 60s. Vert was a popular fragrance in the 70s, and it smells very 70s. This is the kind of fragrance, because I was a child in the 70s, that I remember smelling on a lot of my friends' mothers. It reminds me a little bit of Charlie, the original Charlie. And you shouldn't think, Vert means green wind, or green breeze. And you wouldn't think that that would smell like Charlie. Charlie is a very spicy green, also with a lot of amber in there. This, if you took the green notes out of Charlie, it's the same green notes that are in here, but this does not have the amber, does not have the spiciness. This truly is how I would describe it, is a musky fragrance with a lot of dry green notes. It's got like a multitude of green notes. It smells like the 70s. It smells like old school perfumes. You could say a grandma fragrance, but it doesn't have the florals that you typically find in a grandma fragrance. This is more of a real dry green experience. It's lovely. It's very sophisticated, but it's not crowd pleasing. It's not a safe blind buy. I would say to you, if you like green perfumes, this is definitely one for you to try, and you would probably like it. If you're not a big green perfume fan, if greens are like a maybe so-so, this is not going to be for you. This is a very harsh, there's animalic notes in here, but there's nothing dirty or challenging to my nose. It's just very dry, very green, very mossy. It's the mossy kind of green. It's not grassy green. It's not ferny green. It's not green tea green. This is like mossy green. And I absolutely love it. You can see I've gone through about half the bottles. So when I first put it in my bloom bin, I probably had it about here. And I've been wearing it primarily for when my husband and I go out, when I go out in public, rather than just sitting around home, because it just has kind of a special quality to it, and it was not cheap. So anyway, that's my review of Vert Perfume Balmain. And this is a long-lasting fragrance too, by the way. Good 8 hours. If you do a good 6 to 7 sprays, it'll be good for 7 to 8 hours, maybe even longer. Really fabulous buy, and I don't know if it's been discontinued or if it's still available. All right, next up, I have Fiji, and it's Fidji or Fidji, Fiji. This is also a French perfume. The house is Guy Laroche. Now, Guy Laroche, I remember being a big deal back in the 80s when I was in college. I remember buying a cologne. I forget the name of it. It was like everyone was wearing it. It was by Guy Laroche. But this is one of the only ones that I can find. I think it's still being made. This is a 80s version of a tropical fragrance. That's the best way I can describe this. It's big shoulder pads, big hair, perms, very strong. There's a lot of potent green notes in here, a lot of light tropical florals and aldehydes. But I would describe this primarily as green. And tropical is kind of in parentheses. It's not today's tropical fragrance. This is 80s tropical fragrance. Because in the 80s, we were really into fragrances that were spicy, heady, strong. We loved things like poison, opium. It had to really blow your head off. Peach was also the note of the 80s. And I don't know that there's peach in here. There may be some fruity notes, but in wearing it, I don't get any fruity notes at all out of this. This is strictly tropical florals. I would say green notes first, tropical florals second, and musks and base notes third. It's beautiful. It's also long lasting, and this is a good 6+ hours, but this is not for the lighthearted. If you like, I should say the faint-hearted, if you like green notes, this again is, and green perfumes, this is one you need to try. It's not super cheap. I want to say I paid over $40 for this one. But it's very sophisticated, very beautiful, worth every penny, but it's odd. Like even I find it to be an odd fragrance because of that combination of green, and it's dry green. It's not humid, saturated green that you would usually find in a tropical. This is more woodsy, northern US kind of green with tropical notes. So it's odd. It really is odd, but it's very pretty as well. So again, that's Fiji by Guy Laroche. All right, next I have a true summer fragrance. This one is by Royal Hawaiian, and this is Tuberose. Now, I didn't buy this all that long ago. This is a perfume house out of Hawaii, and I kind of set it aside partially because it was a summer fragrance. It wasn't summer yet, but it was also because it was a little on the expensive side. I want to say again between $40 and $50. Now, for me, that's expensive. For you guys, that might be nothing. And it seems like for most perfume channels nowadays, spending $300 on a fragrance is nothing. Now, that's not for me. You will never, ever see me, ever, presenting to you a $300 fragrance, because I would never spend that kind of money on perfume. But I'm all about, teens, 20s, 30s, 40s. Once it gets above that, then I won't buy those fragrances generally. I'll ask for my husband to buy them only on very special occasions. So with that being said, Royal Hawaiian Tuberose is a beautiful, saturated, pure solely note tuberose fragrance. Now, there are other notes in here. I'm sure there's some freshness, some other florals to lend character, probably white musk in the base to give it some duration and strength, but it's a beautiful tropical tuberose. So if you're a tuberose fan, I heard another perfume channel called Tuberose the bad bee. You know what I mean? The bad bee of the perfume world. Because tuberose, when it's in a perfume, tends to take over. It's a very strong note, a very signature scent. And this is beautiful. It's a very wonderful take on a Hawaiian or tropical tuberose. So if you're a fan of tuberose, I highly recommend you give this a try. It's beautiful. It lasts 8+ hours. You spray this on before bed, it will still be with you in the morning. I've gone through a little less than half of the bottle. This is only a 1.6 ounce bottle, and it probably costs $30 some. Worth every penny. Really, really pretty. All right. Next, I have Yara Tous. Now, I went over maybe a year ago, several months ago. I had bought 3 Yara fragrances. I bought the pink one, the white one, and this one. I know there are more since then. I have since come to believe that the Yara line is overrated. It's just plain, I don't know else how to say it. It's just overrated. It's nice. It's pretty. It's presentable. It's mass appealing. But once you really get into perfumes and you have any kind of collection, this is actually quite boring. What I want to say about this is it's a mango-dominated tropical fragrance. It's very pretty. It's very nice. I have nothing bad to say about it. It's actually quite strong, and it lasts for several hours. Again, spray this on before you go to bed. You'll still smell it in the morning. It'll linger on your clothing longer than it will on skin. And it's very nice. It's not super expensive. If you love fruity florals, tropical mango fragrances, I highly recommend this because it ticks all the boxes. It smells good, it's cheap, it's readily available, and it lasts a long time. However, it's a little bit of a yawn for me. It's not something that I'm ever gonna like, oh, I'm in the mood for this, because it is so generic and mass appealing, and it's so, I don't know, kind of boring, but it's pretty. In honesty, I would wear Britney Spears Fantasy over this. I find Fantasy to be more interesting than Yara Tous, or my other 2 Yaras as well. I am going to use them up. I'm going to enjoy them, but I will not repurchase them. All right, and then I have one more, and this is Pink Sugar Creamy Sunshine. Now, I personally have not looked at any other reviews of this fragrance. I bought it because I like pink sugar, and I thought creamy sunshine, who wouldn't like that? So if you're familiar, I'm going to assume you're familiar with pink sugar. Pink sugar is an extremely sweet, sugary fragrance that's based on the smell of spun sugar. If you've ever been to a state fair or a local fair where they're spinning the sugar and putting it on those paper, what is that called? It's not called pink sugar. It's called, spun sugar. Cotton candy. That's the word I'm looking for. Cotton candy. So if you've ever been by one of those cotton candy where they're actually taking the paper thing and spinning it around and gathering it up, the stuff on the edges tends to be a little burnt smelling. That's how pink sugar smells, with a little bit of a licorice note. I would say Pink Sugar Creamy Sunshine, compared to the original pink sugar, this is about 50% the same as the original pink sugar. If you take out the licorice, take out that mild spicy note that to me makes pink sugar seem original, you take out that, you just leave that cotton candy sweetness, and then you add some creamy vanilla. That's where you get Creamy Sunshine. It doesn't smell like sunshine, but it is creamy, and I would say the creaminess comes from vanilla. And if you can see it, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it in this light, but on the sprayer, there's a bit of that dried kind of yellowishness, and I've noticed that in other perfumes with a lot of vanilla. So if you're a vanilla fan and you like sweet perfumes, you're going to love this perfume. You like vanilla and sweet, this is for you. The creaminess is not, in my opinion, lactonic. It's more of a vanilla creamy with the pink sugar. And every time I spray it on myself, I'm like, oh, it smells like pink sugar, but it's missing that lovely licorice note that I love so much. So how I've been wearing this primarily is when I go running, and I like a lot of these sweet perfumes when I'm running, and I'm not sure why. I think it's because they hold up well in the heat and they hold up well in the wind. And so this fragrance has kind of been keeping me company for the last week or so as I've been wearing it when I go running. And it's lovely. I have nothing against it. I just, of course you're always going to compare a flanker to the original. I prefer the original Pink Sugar much more than this Creamy Sunshine, but it's very nice too. I have nothing against this, and it's long lasting. Like I said, it holds up. I can wear it, sweat like a pig outside while I'm running, in the wind, in the sunshine. I can wear this around the house, lasts 6 to 8 hours. Really, really pretty. But I would not recommend this over the original Pink Sugar. I would buy that first over buying this again. But if you prefer vanilla, you'd probably prefer this. So that is it for this video. I'm going to film another one here, a combination empties and Paul. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.